1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, is that difficult terrain? Okay, so that's 5, 10. Wait, if I move diagonally here, does that provoke an attack of opportunity? Hang on, let me just get a ruler. Does this look familiar? We all love D&D, but let's be honest, the grid, it's iconic, it's tactical, and sometimes it is an absolute death of pacing. Nothing kills the tension of a high-stakes ambush faster than pausing for 3 minutes to argue about Pythagorean theorem to see if a fireball hits 3 or 4 goblins. But what if I told you there's a way to keep the tactics, keep the positioning, but throw the grid and the math in the trash? I've been looking at the new Daggerheart system, and I think I found the golden rule that every 5 EDM should steal immediately. Today we are fixing slow combat by stealing zones. Let's dive in. So D&D 5e uses precise measurements, 30 feet of movement, 5 feet square, 120 foot spell range. It's a simulation. Daggerheart, on the other hand, uses abstract distances. They break the battlefield down into range bands. Melee, you can touch them, very close, within arm's reach or a few steps. Close, a short run away, let's say across the room. Far, a shout away, let's say across the field. And very far, you'd need a spyglass or a longbow to hit it. But the real magic happens with zones. Instead of a grid, imagine your battle map is just a chunk of narrative spaces. Let's say you're in a bar. You have the bar area, which is a zone, the staircase, which is another zone, and the chandelier, which is its own zone. If you are in the bar zone, you can hit anyone in the bar zone with melee. If you want to shoot someone in the staircase, that's just one zone away, so it's close range. No counting squares. You're just there. Okay, I hear you say, that sounds cool for a narrative game, but I'm playing D&D. My monk has 45 feet of movement and the dwarf has 25. If we just use zones, doesn't that ruin my monk's speed? Not if we steal it smartly. Here is my homebrew rule for porting this into 5e without breaking the game. Here is the conversion. Movement. Every 30 feet of speed is one zone move. If you have 30 feet of speed, you can move to an adjacent zone. For example, from the bar to the stairs as you move. If you have 60 feet of speed, hello there monks, you can move 2 zones. If you have 25 feet of speed, I'm sorry dwarves, you can still move 1 zone, but maybe you can take an interaction on the way. For ranges we have melee, let's say the same zone. Thrown or short ranges, let's say 30 to 60 feet, it's an adjacent zone. Long range is 120 feet plus, anywhere on the map within reason. Suddenly the question isn't, do I have enough movement to get to the goblin at square G7? The question becomes, I want to get to the chandelier zone, can I make it? The answer is usually yes, and the game keeps moving. Now, here is the spicy part I'm stealing directly from Daggerheart to make this exciting. In 5e, if you are 35 feet away and you have 30 feet of movement, you just fail. You stop 5 feet short. It feels bad, it's anticlimactic. In this system, if a player wants to stretch their movement, say move from far to melee in one turn, don't say no. Say, make an athletics or acrobatics check. Set a DC, maybe 12 or 15. Succeed? They sprint, vault over the table and land a hit. Awesome cinematic moment. Fail, they trip or they get there but grant advantage to the enemies because they're winded. This replaces math with drama. we aren't counting squares. We are testing this character's physical limits. That is infinitely more D&D than a ruler. Now look, is this for every fight? Probably not. If you're running a tactical boss fight with a lair action where exact positioning determines if you get hit by a dragon's breath weapon, stick to the grid. The grid is great for positioning. But for a random bandit ambush, a tavern brawl, for a chase scene, use zones. It turns a 45-minute slog of counting squares into a 15-minute cinematic action scene. It frees you up to describe the action, not the coordinates. So, are you a grid purist or are you willing to try theater of the mind with zones? Let me know in the comments. I actually read them all. And if you like this mechanic breakdown, you can check out my other videos. You might learn something new, so give it a try. Thanks for watching and keep rolling high.